Hey, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the Pre-Party Podcast pop-up group. So I am coming to you live this morning just to check in with you on a couple of things. I'm actually shooting this from my bedroom. About to go into work because today is payday and people really appreciate it when they get their paychecks. Oops, just got a messenger came in. Got to turn that off. All right. So who am I? What is it with podcasts and why should you guys listen to me? So my name is Mary Shores and I created this group because I want to show people the results that they can get if they start opening themselves up and going on podcasts. Podcasts grew exponentially from 2016 to 2017. As a matter of fact, there are 67 million monthly listeners to podcasts, 43 million listeners per week. That's a huge number. And I just want to tell you that when you're coming from a place and you have a message to share, one of the easiest ways that I have found to get that message out is by spreading it through going on podcasts, being featured on podcasts. I've never been interested in having my own podcast, but as we stand now, I've actually been offered my own show multiple times. All right, so who am I? My name is Mary Shores. I founded my first company at the age of 24 years old. 24. I have grown that business into an 8-figure business. My revenue over the last 20 years has reached and is actually at $40 million. One of the things that I know, and I know well, inside, outside, backwards, and forwards, is how to do business. And so I think that my superpower is sort of recognizing when something is hot and having my finger on the pulse of what is coming next. So as I mentioned about podcasts being 67 million listeners per month, they actually expect that to increase even more in 2018. There is a podcast for everything in every niche. It's incredible. And so if you have a message to share, if you love to talk about what you're passionate about, then podcasting might be for you. If you have a program, if you're a wellness coach, if you are a holistic practitioner, if you teach in any way, shape, or form, if you are writing a book, a podcast is a great way of building a platform. When I started, doing this, it was actually a little over a year ago, and I was in a situation where my dream had come true. I had a book deal with Hay House Publishing, and as a matter of fact, I had just finished writing my book, and it was in the editing stages. But I had a big problem because the reality is, even though I had written a book, even though I had my dream book deal with Hay House Publishers, I had no platform. And one of the things that I knew that had been drilled into me by Hay House was that you're not going to sell any books unless you have an audience to sell books to. So I tried to do all the Facebook marketing tricks. I did lots of things to try to build my audience, and I did have a lot of success on Pinterest. So I was able to grow a pretty sizable email list. I mean, we're talking over 10,000 people within about 6 months just by using Pinterest, but that wasn't enough. So here's the difference between growing like an email list and growing a true fan or a follower. When I discovered the power of podcasting, when people hear your voice, when they hear you talking, when they resonate with your story, that is much different than just seeing your free opt-in on Pinterest or on Facebook and joining your mailing list. It's just 100 times more powerful, because when people have heard you or seen you, or they feel that people can actually feel your energy from a podcast, and they know immediately whether or not they resonate with you. So that's my story. I had this book deal, but I had no audience. I started to grow an email list, but unless I get an email list of 100,000 people, it's really not going to be enough to become a notable author. And so I did become a best-selling author, actually. Within 6 weeks of the book releasing it on August 22nd, I hit #1 on Amazon in 3 categories, which were self-esteem, communications, and happiness, which I actually thought was hilarious about the happiness thing because I am so not the poster child of happiness. Anyway, how did I do that? I did that by going on a podcast. There are so many benefits of going on a podcast. Think of a podcast as a way to fill your football stadium full of people who want to hear your ideas. So if you're constantly talking about that thing that you're passionate about to the point where you drive your friends insane, which is actually what I was doing, then it's time for you to spread your message on a podcast. It's a difference between trying to spread your message one-on-one from going to one to many. Now, we're in this group because, one of the things is I realized that some of the people joining this group, they may be very new to the concept of podcasting. And there's a difference between the informed of you would say, you know what? I love podcasts. I know that podcast is a wonderful medium and a platform for you to grow your network, but I don't know how to get on a podcast. So it's like, you already want to go on a podcast because you are informed about the power of podcasting. And the problem, it looks more like, I just don't know how to get on a podcast. Like I need someone to hold my hand and take me through those first steps. Now let's talk about the uninformed, because I think that the majority of you are actually going to fall into the category of the uninformed. The uninformed means that, you know what a podcast is, but you don't see yourself on one, or you don't see how you would fit into being on one. And the truth is that podcasters, like the hosts of these shows, they're not looking for just the next life coach. They're looking for someone who has a story. They're looking for someone who wants to make an impact. So all you really need to be able to go on a podcast is that desire and passion to want to make an impact over some sort of topic. So whether that is like being in a triathlon, or writing your first book, or recovering from cancer, or, somebody that I just approved to come in the group this morning is helping women in their 40s deal with weight loss, because, you're told that all your life, that it's harder to lose weight once you get past a certain age. But, it doesn't really feel real to us until we're in the middle of it, until we've put on that 20 pounds and we really have no idea what to do about it, which, by the way, hello, I fit in that category myself, because I've just turned 44 and I've definitely gained 20 pounds over the last year, and it has just been a mystery to me. So of course I would love to listen to a podcast of somebody who might have like a best kept insider secret to what is causing this weight gain. That's an example of something that you have to share on a podcast. So today's assignment is, I want you to tell me in the group, so this will be a post that you make in the group, tell me something that is unique about you. Now, yesterday's assignment was, I wanted you to post an introduction to yourself and what your topic would be on a podcast. Today's assignment is, I want you to post in the group something that is unique about you. Okay? So for me, I think that one of the things that people find fascinating, or that is unique to me, is the fact that after going through a very diverse and tragic story up until age about 22, because I was out on my own at 16 with very little guidance and no resources whatsoever, had a daughter who was born with this is different than a traumatic brain injury. This was a profound brain injury. She was blind, she was deaf, she had suffered over 5 minutes lack of oxygen. And she lived for a mere year and a half, but she has continued to impact my life even 25 years later. But the fascinating thing and the unique thing about me is, how did I recover from this level of tragedy and then build a thriving business starting at age 24. So, that's the unique thing. So what is something unique about you? And by the way, you don't have to have suffered a tragedy. You don't have to have been like a recovering heroin addict to have something unique about you. It could be that you're like this hidden sci-fi nerd, or that you run cheerleading camps. What is something unique about you? All right, I'm going to leave you with this final benefit to podcasting. On Sunday, I went to Chicago because there's a woman who is founding the Resiliency, what is it called? The Resiliency Project. The Global Resiliency Project. That's it. Anyway, so I had been asked to participate in this, and little did I know, she is creating a documentary film. She has chosen 50 people from around the world who have incredible, incredible stories, who have recovered from some sort of tragedy in their life and went on to thrive. So she is actually studying this in a Brene Brown research style, where she's taking all of the participants in the study. She is breaking them down psychologically, and she's discovering the pattern of their resiliency, and she's finding like what are all the commonalities between the 50 people. She's writing a book about it and creating a documentary, and I was chosen to be one of these participants. Now let me tell you something, and here's the important part. Do you want to know why I was chosen? Because of a podcast. That's right. She found me because of a podcast. She knew my story because of a podcast. And every single day I get an offer in my inbox for some amazing opportunity because of podcasts. So, all right, if you guys are ready to jump right in, please go in, tell me a post, something that is unique about you. I can't wait to read your posts. All right, massive love to you all. Sayonara, goodbye. And thanks. I see Chris is tuning in, and I just want to say thank you and shout out to Chris and anyone else. Leave me some comments. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Mary. Thanks so much for watching. Check out a free chapter of my book, Conscious Communications, at maryshores.com/free chapter. The link is in the description below.